For those in Navy Yard on Sunday wanting to watch the Commanders, Walters always makes sure to have the Washington game on the main TV on NFL Sundays. Jaden Daniels and crew look to bounce back at home against the fellow winless Giants. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock this Sunday afternoon.
At Kroger Pharmacy, CARE is making it easy to get vaccinated. CARE is helping you stay protected from flu, COVID, and RSV. Seasonal vaccines are available 7 days a week with evening hours. CARE is giving you a shot at staying healthy this season. Walk in whenever is best and get multiple vaccines in one visit at your local Kroger Pharmacy. So come and get the protection you need while protecting those around you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Visit Kroger.com/vaccines for more. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See site for details.
A long hold, the 3-2 to Ruiz. Swinging a ground ball, first base side, past the diving first baseman Bride, down the line. The ball hits the sidewall. Tena's going to come in and score. Ruiz will stop at first with a bullet base hit down the right field line. There's Joey Gallo. Ruiz takes off for third. The pitch is dropped by Fortes. He throws his mask away in disgust as he goes to pick up the ball. I don't think I've ever seen that. Not Ruiz stealing third, but as Fortes, the ball hit off his glove, trickled away. He took his mask and flung it in the air in absolute disgust.
Swung on, hit in the air to deep left center field. This is way back. Stowers to the warning track at the wall. It is gone. Goodbye. Into the Marlins bullpen. Bang, zoom goes Juan Yepez to provide another insurance run for the bullpen. Home run number 6 for Yepez. His 23rd run batted in. He reached Soriano with a long ball on his second pitch. And the Nationals have a 3-run cushion. It's now Washington 4 and Miami 1.
And welcome to Nats Chat for Sunday, September 15th, 2024, along with MASNsports.com Nationals insider Mark Zuckerman, who is at Nationals Park. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. The Nats on Saturday were without C.J. Abrams for a second consecutive game. Saw Dylan Cruz and James Wood go a combined 0 for 8 with 4 strikeouts, and yet still handily defeated the National League East worst Miami Marlins 4-1 in Game 3 of a 4-game series. Nats now 67-81, must go just 5-9 over their last 14 games of this regular season to surpass last regular season's record of 71-91. Thank you to all of you who have given the podcast a 5-star rating and who have written nice reviews of the podcast. You on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify can rate the podcast. 5-star ratings are very much appreciated. And you on Apple Podcasts can write a review saying that you like the podcast. The review does not have to be long, can be just a sentence or two, but the ratings and the reviews help us out a lot. Thank you very much for doing them. So the Nats on Saturday hit 3 home runs, got a very good outing from Patrick Corbin, got very good work from the bullpen, and for a second consecutive game, got a 4-1 win over the Marlins. I tell you, Mark, these 2 wins have been very nice. Little drama, a lot of good, solid baseball. You know, these are like taking care of business wins. The Nats doing as you would like to see them do against a really bad team in the Marlins.
Look, if nothing else this season, the Nationals have firmly established that they are better than the Miami Marlins. And I know that may not be a very high standard right now, but you got to start somewhere. You got to be better than someone. And they clearly have been better than the Marlins. They've won 10 of 12 with 1 more to go. And as you said, a lot of these games, well, they haven't been blowouts. They've felt very comfortable for the majority of them. Games that were never really seriously in doubt. And how about in this one? You get Patrick Corbin pitching like the old Patrick Corbin. And 3, yes, count them, 3 home runs by the Nationals, Al. Where has this been all year?
3 homers, 7th time in this regular season that the Nats hit at least 3 homers in a game. The Nats are 7-0 in those games. When you homer, you win. I would love to see the winning percentage in MLB of teams that out-homer other teams. In other words, when you win the home run battle, do you win the game? I've got to think that winning percentage is like 750, 800. You know, and like you know, that's like breaking new ground and coming up with that theory. But just like, I feel like hitting homers correlates with winning so well, and maybe more than anything else that a team could do. But yeah, excellent to see that. Now, you know, it's interesting. You look at who homered for the Nats in this game. It wasn't like Cruz and Wood and Abrams who didn't even play. Like, you're talking about some lesser-known Nats, some less important Nats, but whatever. 3 homers was great to see that. And the Nats in this game got some offense. This was not a win in which the Nats had just 4 hits and got the win. The Nats in this game, 8 hits, 3 home runs, and a double. So 4 extra base hits to go with 4 singles, 1 walk, 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. I actually would like to start with someone who did not hit a home run in this game because he had one of the more remarkable at-bats you'll ever see. Keibert Ruiz, another good game for him as his terrific September continues. Ruiz as the Nats starting catcher and number 6 batter, 2 for 4 with a double, an RBI single, and a stolen base. So the RBI single coming in the Nats 1-run fourth, a full count RBI single to right field for a 2-1 Nats lead. But then there is what happened with Ruiz in the bottom of the 6th. A 1-out double to deep right field on a 1-2 pitch. And if you did not see this plate appearance, if you have time, make it a point to seek this out. The double came off Ruiz fouling 2 pitches that were nowhere close to being strikes. This was like the ultimate Keibert Ruiz at bat. Terrible plate discipline, swinging at pitches he has no business swinging at, but then he makes contact, and he makes really good contact. That was a well-deserved double. And then a steal of third base for the second time in recent days. Keibert Ruiz steals third base. That was a remarkable 6th inning for Keibert Ruiz.
This was the wildest sequence of events that maybe we've seen all year long. Okay, the first foul ball is on a pitch way in off the plate, and he still didn't just like barely get the bat on it. He turned on it and drove a ball into the second deck about 100 feet foul in right field down the line. So he got to it, but obviously that's a pitch that I don't care how well you hit it. It's impossible to hit that pitch into fair territory. He hit it well, but way foul. Then he takes a ball way up and out of the zone. Good on him for actually taking that one. And then he swings at the next one. I believe the pitch may have bounced before he hit it. If not, it was really close. It was basically in the dirt, and he still swung and he still fouled it off. And you're thinking, what are you doing? It should be 3-0 right now, not 1-2. And then what happens? He gets a fastball right over the plate. And what do you do with that? Double down the right field line. Keibert, you have fantastic bat-to-ball skills. You can hit the ball with authority. If you just swing at the ones that are over the plate, if you can just find the control, the self-control, not to swing at the ones that are out of the zone, especially the ones that are out of the zone by a mile, and just wait for that one that is over the plate, you can be a really good hitter. We've seen more of it lately. He's had a very good September, as we've talked about. But man, that was like Keibert Ruiz in a nutshell right there, swinging at everything, somehow putting the bat on the ball. But then when he did get a good pitch to hit, he hit it really well. And as the stolen base, he's now the only catcher in the major leagues this year to steal third base twice. So who had Keibert Ruiz on their bingo card for that one?
And his September has been outstanding. I mean, I want to keep heaping praise on him because it's been such a rough season for him. Keibert Ruiz now in this month of September, batting average of .350, on base percentage of .386, slugging percentage of .600. There are many reasons for why he has not been the offensive player he was supposed to be. The plate discipline might be the number one reason, and there's such irony in this, right? He's a catcher. A big part of his job is calling pitches, identifying pitches, framing pitches. You'd think if anyone on the ball club knows proper plate discipline, it's your catcher. And yet this guy doesn't seem to know plate discipline as a batter. Now, you know, when you line a double, you can sort of laugh at it, but this is a real issue for him. He does swing at bad pitches. And you see what he's capable of doing. We're seeing this excellent month that he's putting together. But man, if he could get that plate discipline where it needs to be, who knows what kind of a hitter he could be.
If he only swung at pitches, I'm not even going to say in the strike zone, but just in the vicinity of the strike zone, he could have a high batting average, a high slugging percentage, and a much higher on-base percentage because he would actually draw walks, something that he does not do because he swings at everything and rarely is able to lay off of 4 pitches no matter where they are. You want to believe that it's a small fix. Maybe it's not true. Maybe this is just who he is and you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But I want to believe that with just a little bit better recognition of that he can be a very productive offensive player for them. Maybe the way he's finishing out this year is going to help him realize that, and he'll go into the offseason and in the next season feeling that he can do it.
Yeah, I feel like plate discipline is something you either have or you don't. It's hard to develop, but it's not impossible to develop. And the beauty of plate discipline is it's one of those things that you can carry with you deep into your career, right? Like as you age, you're going to lose speed, you're going to lose, swing velocity, you're going to lose all kinds of things. But your eyes, your ability to process what is a ball, what is a strike, that should maintain. And so that's one of those things when you talk about like, is a guy going to age well? You look at plate discipline, and that's something that very much can carry over into your later years. So Keibert Ruiz, another good offensive game for him. And yes, the Nats did hit 3 home runs in this game. The homers coming from Jose Tena, Juan Yepez, and Joey Gallo. Tena as the Nats starting third baseman and number 5 batter, 2 for 4 with a solo homer, a single, and a stolen base. Tena in the Nats 1-run 6, 1 out, full count solo homer to right center field for a 3-1 Nats lead. The homer going a projected 412 feet per Statcast. Juan Yepez has not been playing a ton lately, but as we have said, Davey Martinez has astutely, selectively been using Yepez, and Yepez actually has continued to produce in this game as the Nats starting designated hitter and number 3 batter, 1 for 3 with a solo homer and a walk. Yepez in the Nats 1-run 8th, leadoff homer to left center field for a 4-1 Nats lead. And Joey Gallo, he is the Nats starting first baseman and number 7 batter, 1 for 3 with a solo homer. Did strike out twice, but how about the homer? 1-run second for the Nats, 1 out solo homer to the second deck in right field to tie the game at 401 projected feet per Statcast. So not the household names, but 3 good-looking homers there for the Nats in this game.
Yeah, I want to talk about Gallo here. I know we get a lot of questions. I get them every day about why is he still playing so much? He's not part of the future here. Obviously, he's not. The reason he's playing is because they need him at first base. With those young infielders, you need a reliable glove, a big target, which he certainly is, and a guy who can take what could be errors and turn them into outs. And I think he's done a really good job of that. Now, he has not hit, not nearly enough, and he was 0 for his last 19 before the home run. But he does have that ability, we know, when he finally connects on one. He's been frustrated by all that, but Davey Martinez praised him, and I want to give him credit here. This is a guy who at age 30, after a miserable season, which he's been hurt a lot, and he's on a team that's clearly headed in another direction, could have been putting forth something less than his best right now down the stretch. He's playing hard. He is taking it upon himself to be a veteran in a clubhouse full of kids, to lead by some example, to help the young infielders out in the field. And he knows this has not been a good year for him, but he still feels like he can contribute. And I think he has. Now, it's not what they wanted from him, and he's not going to be back next year. You hope he gets a contract somewhere next year, but I mean, the reputation is not great right now for him. But what he has done for them in a different way because of the defense and some leadership qualities, they actually have found that valuable here at the end of what otherwise was a pretty miserable year for him.
Well, look, on a team that overall is not good defensively at all, we have talked about that. He actually is someone who quantifiably has had a good defensive season, and so there is some value in that. But look, if you don't like seeing Joey Gallo play down the stretch, I'm not going to argue with you. I understand the sentiment there. It has not been a good season for him. He's dealt with injury, and he just overall has not been very good. But that home run was very good. Was nice to see that.
For those interested in learning a new language, whether it be Spanish, French, or something else, check out Babbel. Babbel's 10-minute lessons are quick and handcrafted by over 200 language experts, ready to get you talking about your new language in just 3 weeks. Because talking is the key to really knowing any language. Designed by real people for having real conversations, Babbel gets you talking. With over 16 million subscriptions sold, Babbel's 14 award-winning language courses are backed by a 20-day money-back guarantee, so no pressure. Here's a special limited-time deal for our listeners right now. Get up to 60%, that's 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for Nats Chat listeners at babbel.com/NatsChat. Get up to 60% off babbel.com/NatsChat. Spelled BABBEL.com/NatsChat. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Join us at Walters on Friday, October 4th for our end-of-season podcast party. The evening is scheduled from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m.
What's up, everybody? It's Heisman Trophy winner Matt Leinart. I've got a podcast called Throwbacks with actor Jerry Ferrara where we'll be talking all things sports, but also so much more. We'll give you the behind-the-scenes stories from my days as the quarterback on an iconic college football team to Jerry's days as a star on an iconic TV series. So subscribe to Throwbacks wherever you download your podcasts and follow us on all social media at Throwback Show.
The 3-2 pitch. Swing on a line drive, deep right center field. Way back it goes. This one to the track, to the wall, and it's gone. Tena smashes one over the right center field wall for a solo shot. And the Nationals lead 3-1. That'll be his third of the year.
The Nats in this game really did not get much from their two most important batters right now, Dylan Cruz and James Wood. Cruz as the Nats starting right fielder and number one batter, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Wood as the Nats starting left fielder and number 2 batter, 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Did have another StatCast exit velocity gem. Bottom of the third, Wood a leadoff ground out that per StatCast had the highest exit velocity of the game, 108.8 miles per hour. But, no hits for James Wood, no extra base hits, of course. And CJ Abrams not playing for a second consecutive game due to the sore left shoulder. The Nats lineup for this game did not come out until super late. Was that because of the uncertainty with Abrams?
Yeah, they were holding out in case he maybe was going to be all right. He was getting treatment and they thought that maybe he could make it. But Davey seemed to indicate even an hour before that it probably wasn't going to happen. I think they just wanted to hold off just in case. They don't sound overly concerned here. He referred to it as an impingement.
It's just that impingement. When he moves his shoulder up, it kind of grabs on him a little bit. So, I'm very hesitant, because if he does dive again, re-injure himself, I don't want that to happen.
Said that it's still not an MRI type of situation. But if he can't go Sunday, you got to start thinking about that just to make sure there's nothing else going on there. But I get it. There's no reason at this point in the season to take a chance on that it could become anything worse than that. A couple of days off maybe isn't the worst thing in the world for him, and it's given Nasim Nunez a chance to play. And he showed off the glove and he showed off the arm in this game, including a throw that looked like it came in at about 110 miles an hour, and even Gallo couldn't get to, and it hit the camera well. Thankfully, it didn't hit a photographer as best as I can tell. It could have taken someone's eye out. It was thrown with that much velocity and that much off target.
What I like about Nasim Nunez, he has youthful energy and he has a youthful cockiness to where it's like he almost doesn't know that he should know better or that he should be better. He sort of sees himself in a way that maybe others don't. But I think there's a lot to be said for that. Like the idea of you fake it until you can make it. If you can present yourself as a star, maybe that helps you become a star. Who knows? And he's kind of got this, ignorance is bliss type thing going on that I do respect. I actually find entertaining with him. So good for him, although I know it doesn't always translate into great baseball on the field.
He has been a lot of fun to watch and to get to know. He has a big personality. He has enjoyed being a big leaguer for this season. I'll just put it that way. I hope that deep down he understands how this Rule 5 thing works and what that means for him next year, and that he's not going to feel a huge letdown when he doesn't make the team out of spring training next year. But, I will say this about him. I think he's done enough here, especially late in the season, and shown enough improvement that if anything happens with CJ Abrams down the line, that they would feel comfortable putting him out there if they had to for any stretch of time. Not to say that he'd excel there, but a few months ago, I don't know if we thought he even had a chance to stick as a big leaguer. He's going to go AAA. He'll play every day next year. But I think they would be comfortable at this point calling him up if something happened to Abrams and he had to go on the IL for any length of time.
Yeah, I've wondered about that. If CJ Abrams suffered a serious injury and had to miss substantial time, who would become the Nats' regular shortstop? And, all kinds of thoughts go through your mind, like would they put Luis Garcia Jr. back at shortstop? We know that didn't go so well a few years ago. So if the Nats, if nothing else, have found a quality shortstop number 2 on the organizational depth chart, then that is a good thing. By the way, when it comes to a club putting out the starting lineup for a game, is there a time by which the team has to do that? Or technically speaking, could the team not do that until the game actually starts? Like, is the putting out of the lineup multiple hours before each game simply a courtesy to the media? Or is there a mandate, a rule that stipulates that the team has to do that?
A courtesy to the media and to the other team. You'd like to give that to them. But technically, I believe you just have to bring out the lineup card when the umpires show up at home plate 5 minutes before first pitch. And There's been at least once that I can remember where they did wait till that last minute because of a roster move that they were making. And, that lineup card doesn't just have the 9 guys starting. It's got everybody who's available for your team. And that's how the umpires know and the other team knows who is active and eligible for that game. And they had somebody, I'm trying to remember now who it was, that was, arriving late. And they had to make sure they actually got to the ballpark to put his name on the lineup card, make the roster move they had to make, and submit the lineup right before game time. So it's rare that it's that late. It's usually a courtesy to everybody to put it out earlier than that. But I believe by rule, as long as it's on that card when you hand it to the umpires 5 minutes before first pitch, that's good enough.
Well, the Nats starting pitcher for this 4-1 win over the Marlins on Saturday was Patrick Corbin, and the strive to get under 5, to finish with an ERA under 5, does continue, although I think probably time is going to run out on our guy Corbin to finish with an ERA under 5, but he was good for a 4th time in 5 starts. If nothing else, the dying days of Patrick Corbin with the Nats might actually be going relatively well considering what he has been for the most part for these last 5 seasons. So Corbin on Saturday, 1 run in 6 innings, 6 strikeouts versus 1 walk. He gave up just 3 hits, a double and 2 singles, 94 pitches, 59 strikes, 35 balls. What really wrecked the strive to get under 5 was what happened with Corbin in his previous start, the 7-3 loss at the Pittsburgh Pirates last Sunday afternoon, September 8th. Corbin in that game, 7 runs in 6 innings. His ERA for the regular season now at 5.45. If Trevor Williams is in fact coming back, and it certainly looks like he is, we're probably looking at, 2 more starts for Corbin? So to get 5.45 down below 5 is an awfully big ask. So probably not going to happen. But he was good. Like I said, 4th time in 5 starts that he was good.
He has been, I think, appreciably better aside from the one blow-up. And that's really the thing at this point is just the occasional blow-ups. He's had far more just good competitive quality starts here for much of the second half of the year, I feel like, than had been in the past. We've talked about some of the reasons why. He's actually getting swings and misses. He's actually striking out batters, kind of like he used to do, which is nice to see at long last from him. The cutter at a higher velocity has been a good pitch for him. The slider at varying speeds has worked for him. Obviously, facing a Marlins lineup that's pretty swing happy, not real accomplished, was a good matchup for him. I believe it's going to depend on, as you said, what happens with Trevor Williams, and I think the plan is to go to a 6-man rotation here once he comes back. So I'm looking at probably a start next weekend at Wrigley Field, and then maybe one more against either the Royals or the Phillies in the final week. Both good teams playing for something. Maybe the Royals a little less threatening than the Phillies, though the Royals are good and they're going to be playing for something meaningful. But we're down to, I believe, the final 2 starts of Patrick Corbin's Nationals career, which I know a lot of people have been waiting for. You hope he can just finish on something of a high note and, I'm not going to say walk with his head held high, but at least leave a little better taste in everyone's mouths here at the end of what's been obviously a difficult and frustrating and a long few seasons for him here.
It is worth noting, we talk about good in 4 of the last 5 starts. The 4 good starts have come against the Rockies, the Yankees, and the Marlins twice. So good stuff against the Yankees for sure, but the other 3 have come against 2 of the worst teams in baseball, and the Rockies and the Marlins. Is it a definite that if/when Trevor Williams comes back, it is a 6-man rotation, or could it be that someone is going to be shut down? Is that a possibility?
The sense I've gotten is that they would like to do this as a 6-man rotation to stretch everybody out a little longer and get everybody through to the end, maybe just giving them an extra day of rest. Now, I think you take it start by start. If DJ Hers or Mitchell Parker or Mackenzie Gore or anybody has a rough one or just feels like, I think that's enough, we don't need to push them any farther, maybe they say, okay, that's it, you're done, we just go with the other 5 the rest of the way. But I think in their perfect world, if everybody's feeling well and they don't see any signs that have them concerned about their workload here at the end, I think they want to just go 6-man for these last 2 weeks and give everybody a little extra rest, but also give everybody the satisfaction of making it through a full big league season. And I do think that is important. You keep hearing them talk about it's not just about what they're doing this year, but how it sets them up better going into next year with a higher baseline of innings to start from. And the experience of getting all the way through September. They want those games to matter next September, a year from now, and maybe even be playing into October. You're going to do that. You need young pitchers who are ready to deal with that kind of workload and to still be strong at the end and still have more in the tank when the season is over.
Yeah, and if you get Gore, Irvin, Hers, and Parker through the end of the season without having suffered any sort of legitimate injury, I think that's an achievement. Now, look, it has not been, a season of perfection in terms of starting pitcher health. See Josiah Gray, see Trevor Williams, but I don't think those guys got hurt because the Nats were reckless or anything like that. And I think the Nats deserve a lot of credit for keeping Gore and Irvin and Parker and Hers healthy. And, you never know what's going to pop up in September. Remember last September, we had Mackenzie Gore ending his season on the 15-day injured list. He had those left finger blisters that ended up ending his season. So who knows what might come up. But as things stand right now, it does appear that these guys are healthy, and that's a really good thing.
And you mentioned, you can't fault the team for the couple guys who did get hurt. Let's also remember last year, they had basically the same situation. I think it was only 9 pitchers they used all last year, one of the fewest in the majors. They've sustained that again this year. It's a good fortune, maybe, but they do talk about the program that they've developed, both in terms of the coaching staff and the training staff and the medical staff and the routine they've established between starts. They've really prioritized that. And I don't know that we can declare they've found the secret formula to this, but they've done a good job, whether by accident or on purpose, the last 2 years of keeping their starting pitchers relatively healthy, at least compared to the rest of the league, which you see starting pitcher injuries all over the place. That has not really been a problem for this team the last 2 years, and I want to give them credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, as we have this Tommy John surgery epidemic going on throughout MLB, the fact that the Nats, relatively speaking, have not been hit hard like other teams have been hit, I think is a credit to the Nats for sure.
Hey, Nats Chat, want to tell you about Mint Mobile's premium wireless package starting at $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/natschat. That's mintmobile.com/natschat. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/natschat. $45 upfront payment required. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigs on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hi Nats fans, this is Tim Newmark, DC area composer, longtime Nationals fan, and proud composer of the Nats Chat podcast theme song. If you're enjoying the music and would like to hear more, check out timnewmark.com/streaming or just search for Tim Newmark wherever you listen to music. To find the rest of the song you're hearing now, search for the title Double in the Sun. Go Nats!
Are you looking for tickets to an upcoming event? That's why you should download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code NATSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. You get cheaper tickets, and it helps the podcast a bit. Sounds like a smooth 6-4-3 double play. Again, create an account and redeem the code NATSCHAT for $20 off. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Finnegan coming set. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch. He struck him out. Got him with a fastball on a check swing, and it ticked off the bat into the glove of Ruiz. And bang, zoom, a Curly W's in the books.
Really good work by the Nats bullpen in this 4-1 win over the Marlins on Saturday. 3 Nats relievers combined for 3 scoreless innings with 5 swinging strikeouts. Robert Garcia scoreless top of the 7th with 2 swinging strikeouts. Did give up a 1-out double, but Derek Law scoreless top of the 8th with 2 swinging strikeouts, and Kyle Finnegan scoreless top of the 9th for the save. So bullpen in game 1 of this series wasn't so good, although defense was a huge issue for the team in that game. But the last 2 games in this series, the 2 wins for the Nats so far in this series, you're looking at the Nats bullpen combining for 7 scoreless innings. Really good work by these relievers these last 2 games.
Probably the least drama series we've seen out of their bullpen in a while, which is nice to not have to think about that kind of stuff for a change. And yeah, some of this is the Marlins. Okay, whatever. But again, you're better than them. Go out there and prove you're better than them, and don't even make anybody think there's a chance that they could beat you on a given day. And props to them. They did it. They got 1 more on Sunday. If they can pull that one out, 11-2 against Miami this year. I'm not scoffing at that. I think that's what you need to do if you want to be what the Nationals are trying to be.
That's domination. I mean, that's the kind of thing that the good Nats teams used to do to the bad National League East teams. So that absolutely is a step forward. Going back to the homers, I had this thought. It is so odd. So when you think about infield positions, right, the power positions traditionally are first base and third base. The Nats this season have gotten so little out of first base and third base. The power really has come from the middle infield spots, which is not normal, right? Shortstop and second base. So to see the starting first baseman, Joey Gallo, and the starting third baseman, Jose Tena, homer in this game, I don't know, it just sort of reminded me of that. We've become so used to things that you can kind of lose sight of some obvious stuff. And that to me is like an obvious thing. These traditional power spots, the Nats have not gotten power from this season. Hopefully that changes next year with Brady House at third and perhaps free agent acquisition X at first base. But that is something just that it's really been shortstop and second base that's given you the offense in terms of infielders this season.
But I think that's actually a reason to be encouraged about what could be coming here in the future. I know they're last in the National League in home runs, and this is not a team that has hit for power. But there is power potential at almost every position on the field. C.J. Abrams is a 20-homer guy, even as he struggled in the second half. Luis Garcia can be a 20-homer hitter. Keibert Ruiz can be a 20-homer hitter. James Wood and Dylan Cruz should be big power hitters as they gain more experience and spend more time here. Jacob Young's not going to be that. That's fine. He's going to be the number 9 hitter moving forward. Brady House, the reputation, the best tool that he has above all else is a power bat. Now let's see once he gets here, does he have that or not? But you'd like to believe that he can. And I strongly believe that their number one priority this winter is to go get themselves a first baseman with a proven track record as a power hitter. So you're looking at 7 out of the 8 positions on the field with power potential, not guaranteed, but power potential. If it were to all come together, there is actually, I think, a chance for this to be a dramatic increase in home runs hit next year. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves and predict things that might be foolish, but there's a chance for that. It hasn't happened yet, obviously, but at each of those spots, I think there's reason to believe that it could and probably should get better over time.
Well, they need it. I mean, if they're going to contend next season, they need about 50 more home runs minimum as compared to what they've done these last few seasons. So if you can get an additional 50 homers from whatever, the maturations of Wood and Cruz and Abrams, the acquisition of whoever you end up signing this offseason, the promotion of Brady House, they need that. But, you think about that. If you get substantially more home runs and you subtract Patrick Corbin's 5+ ERA from your rotation, just those two things right there could vault you into playoff contention come next September. Like, those are two really big changes that we could be looking at when you talk about the 2025 Nats versus the 2024 Nats.
It's why, as frustrating as at times as this has felt, and I know there are fans that wish the record was better and feel like this team has underachieved in some ways, it's why we keep saying, and I think why they internally believe, that they're not that far off, that there are a few calculated changes to be made, primarily first base and replacing Patrick Corbin with a just quality big league starter. You do that and you get the natural progression from the young guys they already have here and the arrival of 1 or 2 more. There is the makings of something there. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed to happen. We know things go wrong along the way, but all that together is why there's a lot of genuine enthusiasm and optimism within the organization. And from a lot of people who watch this team, you can see that that's potentially there, not that far off.
You tell us what you think. Hit us up on X at Nats_chat. You can email the show natschatpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on our website, natschatpodcast.com, at which you can purchase a Nats Chat Podcast t-shirt. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat are courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. Nats Chat is on the radio Sunday morning 9 to 10 on ESPN Richmond, which is 106.1 FM in the Richmond, Virginia area, and Sunday morning 9 to 10 on Priority Sports Radio 94.1 in the Virginia Beach area. For Mark Zuckerman, I'm Al Galdi. We thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat Podcast.
Now the left-hander ready. On 3-2, the runners go. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, line drive, caught at third by a leaping Jose Tena. The inning is over. Terrific play there. takes an extra base hit away and maybe 2 runs from the Marlins with the runners going on the pitch. And that ends the inning with an outstanding defensive play.
This year, win up to 1,000 times your cash every game day only on Underdog. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite players' stats like touchdowns, goals, points, and so much more. Millions of fans from all over the U.S. have won over $1 billion on Underdog. Underdog is offered in 33 states across the U.S. And this season, Underdog will be running a special, promo, or bonus almost every single day. Don't miss out. Download the app and sign up for Underdog today using promo code ENDZONE. And you'll get a free pick as part of your first cash entry plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Again, that's promo code ENDZONE. Cash in on every touchdown this season with Underdog. Must be 18 years or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. 21 years or older in Massachusetts and Arizona. 19 years or older in Alabama and Nebraska. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.